Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Naruto Shippuden episode review. This one's going to be for episode 483, Jiraiya.Kakashi. Last episode of this boyhood arc, as they're calling it. Link to watch the episode if you haven't seen it yet is in the description. But yeah, let's get into the review. The Jiraiya episode, part of the episode, was interesting in that I definitely got the impression, like over the course of the series up to now, most of the Jiraiya flashbacks we've got prior to this have very much been focused on kind of the big moments from their lives, whether that be Orochimaru leaving, the big Tsunade moments, Jiraiya and you know Nagato and those type of things. So it was kind of nice to just have an episode where we focused a little bit more on their lives, kind of growing up together, focusing more on the kind of dynamic between the three of them, mainly focused on Jiraiya, and just the kind of legendary Sannin dynamic. It was interesting, but I think ultimately the episode ended a little bit in mid-air, where like the final scene that we had was just kind of like, okay, like that didn't really build to anything. It wasn't really trying to do anything. It was literally just a kind of slice of their lives. And I like the little things where like Jiraiya was always trying to get use kind of Orochimaru as part of his kind of schemes, whether it be him doing his kind of early kind of perverted stuff or trying to get with Tsunade, and them always kind of never working, and then Orochimaru just kind of walking off. It just kind of highlighted that Jiraiya always like was kind of cool around Orochimaru. He kind of liked involving him, but Orochimaru never revealed a lot of himself to anyone else. And so that nice moment where they all talk about their dreams was an interesting one, in that one, it's Jiraiya talking about something that's not kind of perverted, I suppose, and you get Tsunade's kind of quest to go around the world and win at every casino. Jiraiya mainly just to kind of be with Tsunade, and then I suppose actually more interestingly, probably the best character development from the whole episode came from Orochimaru. Just at this point in time, basically him revealing to them all for the first time his mission to master ninjutsu and become the most powerful at it in the world, but him not revealing any sort of a motive behind it, that he doesn't think like that. The whole goal is just master it. The point of it is just to learn it all, and that's all that there was to it. And it was just an interesting one that's always been his goal, and over time it obviously became a little bit different, but it was just an interesting one to get there. And then you obviously kind of ended with a fight. It was fun, but nothing too crazy or massively important. The second part of the episode was the Kakashi one, and as I said at the end of the last video, I was kind of wondering how they were going to approach doing this one, in that we've got a lot of backstory about Kakashi. We've got a lot of backstory specifically with Kakashi, Obito, and Rin. But they actually managed to make this one very interesting, in that rather than just the Jiraiya one, which kind of focused on him at different stages of his life, this one was just like, here's basically like 3 or 4 typical days for Kakashi. And just the dynamic when there's not some sort of a big thing happening, where it's not Kakashi being promoted to this or that, or Obito doing this or that. It's just like 4 or 5 days in the lead up to the anniversary of his father's death. It worked interestingly because you saw like one, Kakashi living on his own, and that he managed to look after himself fairly well with kind of very little help from anyone else, but that he like learned all these skills. And I think most importantly what this highlighted was just that even though he's super talented at anything, and that he doesn't struggle to learn anything, he still actually works really hard to make sure that it happens. And that's always been a thing with his character, that he isn't just the talented one that succeeds without putting any effort in. He puts that effort in, but never really shows that effort to anyone else, so it kind of comes across that he's just talented at everything. Like he's an expert cook here, but you can see that he's been reading the books and practicing for a really long time. He puts the effort in, and like washes kind of all the stuff really well and keeps the house clean. And then even the fishing, catching the fish, like he put effort into that, learning how to fish properly, and it impresses everyone, Rin, Obito, and it just highlights another skill that he has. So I suppose overall that was interesting to get, as like Rin obviously is initially enamored with him, Obito not so much, but then gradually comes to see that, oh, he can catch fish, he's an expert cook. They all come over to eat at his house after kind of spying on him, was a fun moment. And it's just the whole idea that he he is quite humble about it all and doesn't really know how to react. He's just like, everyone is constantly saying, you're so amazing at this, you're so amazing at this, and he's just like, you think so? And he doesn't really know how to take compliments at this point in time. That like, am I amazing? I just read the book and did it. That he kind of doesn't realize that just reading a book and instantly being that good at something is a huge kind of talent to have, and not many other people could be like that. But for him, it's just like, that's not what he's kind of focused on. He's just kind of trying to get on with it. That to him, that's just him learning to cook. And for everyone else, it's like, wow, Kakashi, are you trying to become a like master chef or something like that? It was pretty interesting. And then just little moments like Obito kind of joking, I bet he's a closet pervert. Rin kind of blushing at that, because I suppose the implication there was because she kind of stalks Kakashi, that Obito followed Kakashi, and then it's later revealed that like Rin was following both of them, but primarily Kakashi, and Obito was never aware that she was there. That she kind of, the implication I think was that she kind of stalks him a lot, and that was kind of her kind of perverted thing. I don't really know if that's the exact dynamic that they were going for here, but it definitely made for fun interactions between the three, where they were all getting along fairly friendly here. That it wasn't any issue or anything like that going on. It was just that the three of them are fundamentally friends. But obviously, as they grew up and you get to the whole Obito incident, that's where the whole idea of the rules and the difference between Obito and Kakashi came out, and you had that big kind of issue between the two in a later big grand moment. And then I suppose the most important Kakashi section of the episode is definitely him going to visit his father's grave on the 1 year anniversary. That the reveal is that he knew that what his father did and what led his father to commit suicide was that on this mission his father put his friends kind of before the rules and the mission. And to some extent Kakashi respects his father for that, but Kakashi can only really see that his father's dead, and fundamentally that decision led to his father being in this position, and he never wants to be like that. So he decides at that point in time that like, I'm not going to be like you. I will follow and obey the rules, so this doesn't happen. I thought that was an interesting way, in that it's not just this situation where like Kakashi was unaware of what exactly his father committed suicide for, and potentially just overheard people constantly saying his father disobeyed the rules. He was aware that was out of friendship and all this other stuff that his father actually did that, but that he still says that he's going to stick to the rules because that's kind of what he kind of goes on to do. I just thought that was an interesting twist on the character that adds an extra layer to his motivations, kind of, that we didn't quite know before. Nothing huge, but just a nice little kind of thing to add to it. So yeah, that's that. That's the whole boyhood arc. 4 episodes. I think it was 4 episodes. Fun, but ultimately I don't think these episodes will be remembered massively going forward. You can sort of tell that they were episodes that gave the animation studio, a chance to kind of not put a ton of effort in, and set up for, I suppose, the stuff that they're going to put more effort into, which is the animating the light novels, which is kind of more important canon content. And the first one that they're doing coming up next, not next week, I think we're taking a break of 2 episodes, so no episode next week, no episode the week after, but we're back after that. I think the first week in November, or in December, is when the first Sasuke light novel episode is coming out. So that should be really fun. I think it's interesting that like clearly the opening that we have right now is built for those light novels as opposed to these 4 episodes. In that all of the animation within the openings right now is kind of post Naruto finale stuff. It's the after series stuff, and very clearly this Sasuke one takes place almost immediately after the finale, and it's on Sasuke's journey of atonement, where he kind of travels the world and redeeming himself. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they do that, and then all the other light novels that they're also animating. So yeah, that has been the review. I'll just finish up by saying a link to my Twitter and Tumblr are in the description below if you want to follow me on social media, and a link to my Patreon campaign and also my PayPal donation link are also in the description if you want to help support my channel. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.